Hello, everybody. Uh, Welcome to the RPG Maker MZ First Look live stream, which, by the way, it apparently is MZ and not MZ. I have been told this repeatedly, so hopefully I say it correctly. I'm not. I'm going to say MZ all the time because I am American, and we don't know what a Z is. So, the couple things before I start. I'm don't have really a plan of how I'm going to present this because I thought about having a plan, but then I realized everyone's going to double audio. Hold on, let me make sure that something's not playing the audio in the background. Is it getting double audio? Someone said double audio in the audio is fine. Okay. So the main thing is I did not want to go in with a plan because everyone's going to be asking questions and any plan I made would not work. So the plan is to just open things up and see what you guys ask me to look at. I am going to start with one thing that I really, really enjoy because it was something I used to do differently, and now I get to do it really simply. So let me just switch over to MZ. And as you can see, this is a brand new project. I just created this one because I didn't want you to see the million things I've been opening and just making a map really quick to make a screenshot in. So one of the things that I really hated doing before was when you were doing the get location info, you used to always have to go in. If you wanted to get what the, what the region ID of the place your player was standing, you would be like, okay, I'm going to put the player's X and Y into a thing, but now I can just do this. This is so much easier. This is so simple compared to what it used to be. I hated the old way of doing it. So there, that was one thing that I just thought was so much easier than it was before. So what do people want to see? Yeah, I can't say Zed. What do you want to see in the plugin? I don't have a whole lot of plugins loaded in on this one. Does wet work on event 2? Status effects menu, it is mostly the same. I'm pretty sure there's not a lot of changes here. I'm opening it because I don't remember everything from MVs. Any new event commands? No, there are no new event commands, but a lot of event commands have new stuff in them. Max sprites back from XP. No, were you using the same style of sprites? Is sort of the same sizing as MV, but there are some changes to it. Plug it. Okay, map generator. Z comes from the... Yes. There is no random map dungeon generator. System 1 and System 2. Okay, this is something I can actually show that I know what you're asking about. Okay, so the main things in System 1 that is different is that you have the battle system stuff right here. And let's see, what else was different in this one? Most of this, I think, is the same. I think most of the changes are into... Oh, there's enable autosave. And show the number of key items, I think, is new as well. So, by the way, guys, I can't answer every question you guys ask because it's going really fast. So, the show the number of keys items, I think, is new. I'm not really sure because I can't remember if... I was pretty sure it's not in MV. Time progress wait is probably what I'll be using in most of my games because I don't like active. Yeah, that's in System 2. The new where you can change what menu commands, what item categories, or the item categories is the new one. This is the main new stuff over here in the advanced settings. So screen width, height, you can change the... Yeah, I know, I can load in the DLC-based resources for the pre-made plugins. I'll load in one very specific one I know everyone wants to see in a second. So we have new resolution options. You can put in what you want your font to be, which is a little bit better than how it was before. Your number fonts is no longer using parts of the Windows skin stuff. It's actually a font and then your font size. So if people want to look at plugin stuff, let's open the plugin manager. I need to actually put something in. Give me a second while I... I'm going to seem like an idiot sometimes because I have not done some things in a very long time. I actually haven't put a plugin in a game in such a long time that I'm forgetting how to do it. It's sad, isn't it? Alright, let's... And also I realize it's not the easiest thing to think about what I'm trying to do and talk about it at the same time. So here we go. This is a plugin I think everyone wants to see, right? Did everyone want to see the 8-direction movement? There's actually a whole lot more. I didn't actually open the DLC folder with all the launch plugins in it. In an event, can you change variable to be... it's just greater than or equal to for... are you talking about like event conditions? Like when you're... like you're talking about this right here, right? Because that is still only equal to or greater than. Like obviously when we're talking about conditional branches, you have more options. But in the page conditions, it is only that one. MZ is way less laggy than MV was. Incredibly less. Alright, I'm going to actually try to do something in specific, because if I just sit here and open up different windows, they should have updated that. Okay, so let's see, what should we do? Oh, let's play with the character generator, because I know several people have said they wanted to see all the materials in it. So, and let's open kids. I wonder if I have some of the other DLC loaded in here on this one. Wait, let's randomize first. Oh, that's a smug brat, isn't it? Yeah, I'll do some mapping probably too. Can see the characters. Sure. That's pretty easy to do too. In a minute, I'm gonna have to like actually stop answering every question. Actually, I'll show you the easiest way to show characters is I'm gonna open up something a little different. Is to... Alright. So this is the way to show all our characters. I like that guy. This is my favorite new design. I just really like this character. The full art images are really nice. I also like this character. I think it's a cool looking one too. One thing I've noticed is a lot of swords. A lot of characters have swords. Yeah, the art style is really clean. And just like with the older ones, for all your heroes, there's generally two characters, like that character and that character, kind of the same class, one male, one female. I think that's a villain. I notice I have cut off the file names, so you don't get to see. But these are all the full arts that are included. They're in a DLC folder. You just have to open them up and put them into your game if you want to, because they're not in there by default. Also, this is my favorite character. The pig. The pig is wonderful. Everyone should love the pig. So the full arts, I think there's 120 of them. I think I'm mostly through most of the fantasy ones now. In a second, I will hit the sci-fi ones. Which one of the things I really like about the sci-fi ones is that as soon as I hit them, which will take a minute longer. Oh, here we go. Is that they're actually the same characters. Like, that's the same first character. They're just in modern / sci-fi clothing. And some of them have more normal hair colors. And having the sci-fi characters, I'm going to use it in the game I'm going to make. To have it be like a modern time period, and then have like a fantasy world that they're involved in. But not isekai, because I am tired of isekai. It's just way overdone at this point. Alright, I think I'm about wrapped around now. Okay, so that was all of the characters. I like Daddy Warrior. Daddy Warrior is really cool. He just looks like he's like a coach, or he's going to the gym. Alright, so some other things we could want to look at. Let's look at enemies. I think I have it on side view. Hold on, let me make sure it's not in side view, because they're a little bit smaller. They're in front view. We have a bunch of ones from the actors. Just gonna kind of click through these. I know some of these, at least, were in some of the sample games, the Japanese sample games. But when I looked, I didn't see all of them, so there's definitely a lot of these that weren't in there. Also, this one's really cool. I like Army Gorilla and like Commando Monkey. I don't know why that one's in the sci-fi. Machinery B. Yeah, I really like the art style too. The art style of the battlers and the full arts and the face sets are all really, really good. Live 2D files into RPG Maker, is that a thing? I have seen it done with plugins, and there may be someone who's going to work on a plugin for it. I do not know. Or if I do know, I'm not going to be the one to announce it. Because it's not my stuff. It's not official stuff. Alright. Let's actually work on something. I'm gonna do some mapping. Because mapping is pretty relaxing. We have another 2 hours and 45 minutes to look at this. And if I just frantically look through everything like I've been doing, that will not be very entertaining for me. So let's just make a bigger map, and let's do dungeon. Yeah, the default Veda vase has a lot of stuff in it. I don't want to do a cave. I always do caves. I think it's a weakness of mine that every single time I start, I always like to start doing a cave. So let's do some kind of... Nope, that's not a good one to start with. That better? Yeah, there we go. Do a castle. Temple's probably where I'm going to go with it. Let's see, there's some tiles for a temple. Oh, that's... Pasting it like that is really, really bright. I think, though, like, there's two ways to do any map like this, and that's start with your ceiling tile and then carve out, or start at the base and build up. And I think that for a temple, I'm going to want to carve out. Start. So one thing I notice people do when they map is they map from out here, which you can start mapping from out here, but really suggest against it. So temple, so it's probably man-made, so it's going to be somewhat symmetrical. Not going to have like the weirdness of a cave system. I mean, the good thing about it is, though, like, if you don't like these tiles, you can always just use the MV tiles. They're still compatible, so it's really a stylistic thing. I think, actually, I probably like the MV tiles a little more, too. But, you know, choices. Choices are good. I'm bad at symmetry. What is that? That is correct. That is the same size. So I think I made some mistakes in how I mapped that. Let me get some walls now. Yeah, that's not going to be big enough. I didn't leave room for the tops of the walls, so let's move stuff down. I need to make sure that I'm on the right tool when I do stuff. We see battle animations used against enemies. Oh yeah, I can pull up battle animations in a little bit. Doing stuff on stream is really weird for me, because I'm not used to having to talk while I'm trying to do it. So I'm like counting tiles and stuff like that. and forgetting what I'm doing. Yeah, shift mapping still exists. Though actually there's a lot of stuff that's made much easier that you don't have to shift map for. Like, let me show you an example of stuff that you would normally have to shift map for. Let me look at it and make another map really quick. So, let's see, outside. So normally, let me see. So let's say we're making a cliff, but we're gonna go layer 2, make the cliff. Oh. Let me make sure I'm not on the fill tool. Then go to layer 2. So one of the things you can do that you would normally have to shift map for is if I wanted to do another level, you would normally have to shift map. But you could also just have that. That's not accurate over here, but you see how, like, I didn't have to shift map to get this correct? By just... yeah, there, it's Control Tab, and I have it on a, like, a button on my, as a macro on one of the buttons on my keyboard, so I can just do it with one button. Is it just Tab? I thought it was... No, it's Control Tab. But, like, stuff like that, you can do with that. You can now do with layers instead. Also, because you can put these kind of tiles on upper layers, you'll notice that the back corners are now, like, transparent. So, like, let me go to layer 1. That was the wrong layer. Okay, so I go to layer 1. And now, like, see the whole thing? You can see that on the corner of the tile in the corner there, it's transparent. So you can get a little more rounded on the edges. They're not as rounded as they could be. I think some tile set artists will probably make some more rounded stuff like that. But yeah, because they have, like, because you can put them on layer 2 and 3, you can layer it much better. So back to my little temple. You know, I was watching a lot of ways people do outside walls, and I realized I do them completely differently than like Avery wrote a tutorial for the blog, and it was like, oh, you can do this, this, and this for outside walls, and none of them were what I did. I quite like mine because I always just leave it going black all the way to the outside. Level cap in the database is still 99. Collision is probably... collision, I think if anything is X, you can't go into it. Hotkeys. I do not know what all has hotkeys. If other stuff was added, I just don't know because I haven't used them. Yeah, let's see. You can use ground towers on upper layer. You can. Okay, let's get back to making some kind of temple. This is not visually interesting for me to just read chat and not do anything on screen. I think I'm making this too symmetrical, but that's fine. So the one thing I will say, you're talking about, like, the base layering stuff of, like, you know, maybe preferring the MV. And I think I do in some cases too, but like I said, options. But I think a lot of the B and C tiles in MZ are really, really, really good. Let's get some statues in here. Maybe I should have like a step up in this room. So let's get some stairs and stuff like that. Oh, this is another area where I could use the layers really well. Let's move the top of here back, and then switch to layer 2 and add stairs on. Their cracked variation, yeah, there is. See? It's cracked and mossy. The Trinity Tiles? The Trinity Tiles has a lot of cool stuff in it. If I wasn't planning on making the project I make on stream open, I probably would have used Trinity as my base. And I don't know, maybe I want to use that one? The problem with that one is you can't do symmetrical. I would have to like open it, but then the shadows wouldn't be right. Let's use a different one. Oh. Move the other one first. Does it use the same graphics type as MV? All the graphics are the same format except for battle animations. Battle animations are different. Let's see. What should I put up here? Let's drop some. This is not going to be incredibly pretty map, honestly, because I'm just making it as I go without much thought to it. I don't think this goes with the background very well. Maybe it's just my imagination. The problem with like horizontally mirroring B and C tiles is your shadows will be wrong. Like, it's a good idea at first, but like some of them I think will be fine, but stuff like I was looking at say that, I don't know, maybe it would still work. I would have to look closer at it. But let's see. What else? It needs some kind of cable or something. I might do what I always end up doing in these kind of things, and that is going into the tile sets and adding the other inside B and C to this. And it won't have the right patchabilities on it, but I can fix those later. How anyone actually gets up there, I don't know. I don't think that was a good plan. Hypothetical question for you about plugins. If you take an MV plugin, put the MZ flag in its code, and try to put it into MZ, what happens? It depends on a lot of things. But more than likely, it is just not going to work. I would suggest against trying that. Alright. I don't know, I'm trying to find, like, something. I like how you can just make a really, really big throne now. I want to know who sits in that throne. Like, that is a thick boy. I think it's supposed to be a couch. I think I made this, you know, I think I just went with the wrong width here. So I'm gonna, like, zoom out, and I'm gonna make this, like, one thing wider. Nope, that was the wrong one thing wider. And then fix that up. The stairs there. There seems to be a lot of stuff that is good on 3 wide. Like I could put this thing. This thing looks cool. RP Maker MZ to Unity exporter? Not that I know of. Nothing being done officially. Why is MZ asking for a lot of memory if it's basically the same as MV? So one of the things that people kind of misunderstood about the RAM requirements we listed is that more than likely the MV requirements we listed were too low. Like MV did not run very well at those minimum specs. So in general, if you could run MV games well, MZ games should run. I don't think there's a big thing where like you're going to have an issue. Like I said, it was just a situation where we kind of had it a little wrong before. So MZ doesn't really require. I mean, it does require like a good bit of RAM because running HTML5 engine is just going to take a lot of RAM, but MV uses just as much. And I think the only thing to change, really, as far as that, if anything, it should run better, though it's optimized for a little bit more modern computers now. I don't know anything about the console stuff, because that is not being handled by Digica. You would have to ask someone else. I know that MV Trinity for console is being handled by NIS America for international publishing. And I show the sci-fi tile sets. Sure, that sounds fun. So I've made a really ugly map. But let's make a map with the sci-fi. Actually, first thing I'm going to do is use the overworld map. Because there's actually some cool sci-fi stuff in the overworld map. Let me just drop some grass down. Let's put a little water down. Try to make something that looks a little bit nicer than the last map I made. I wonder what it would look like if I went to layer 2, layer 3, and put these here. Yeah, no, that didn't work out how I wanted it to at all. So that experiment was a failure. Let's remove those. Plugins are in JavaScript. Yes, they are. And mountains over here. And let's see, maybe this is not how the world really works. But there we go. But here I was going to show you some of the cool sci-fi stuff. Let's make some roads. Just going to make kind of a square little area here of roads, and I'm gonna put some buildings in between it. You still need a third-party well, that's it's kind of true of all most mobile output. You're going to always need some kind of third-party stuff because, I mean, if anything, you still need the Android SDK. So, and so we can like put down some buildings, make a cool cityscape. Where's a tower? There we go. But yeah, I really like a lot of the sci-fi world map stuff. I mean, actually, I think there's a default one that actually looks really good. Small town. Here we go. I mean, that looks just... I'm really happy with this part of the tile set. Like the sci-fi world. It reminds me very much of SimCity. iOS and Android is still possible. Default character database. I will show that in a minute. So yeah, it has a very SimCity look to it. This default map's actually pretty good. If I was going to use a default map, this one would probably be it. Though I'd probably dress it up some still. I do need a map like this for the game I'm going to make. But let's look at like some of the outside stuff. So let's see. There we go. Here's like a cityscape tile set. I forgot these were all here. This makes it much easier to show off the tile sets. A military base. Battle animation system. How does it differ? It uses particle animations instead of using sprite sheets. So let's actually look at that. Let's look at the animations. So before you had like sheets. Now it's just particles, so you just load in all the different particle animations. So, and then you can put the sound effects and flashes on enemies and stuff like that. So let's get one that looks cool. I don't know. Let's do some thunder. Thunder is always cool. Alright. There's some lasers. So one of the cool things about this, because it uses particle animations, is the size of the files is just incredibly small compared to the sprite. Like all of the animation materials for all of this takes up maybe 100th of the size of the animations default in MV. I still haven't seen all of these, actually. I didn't like go through and watch one of them when I was doing different things. Multiple powerful effects. So when you do the particle effects, you just load in an effect seer file. I think that's how you pronounce that, is effect seer. So you would just, if you wanted to have multiple particle effects on a single animation, you would just design that in effect seer. And then you just load in that file into this. Turn down the MZ volume. Oh. Hold on. Let me just turn down my desktop audio in the stream. All right, I'm going to play one again. That should be quieter. It does not use the sounds from Effectseer, and there's a very good reason for that, and that's because Effectseer uses, like, wave files, which is huge, and shouldn't really be the way to do it. Also, yes, on the thing of, like... So, here is one thing I will say. You remember, every single time you went to playtest your game and you'd forgotten to turn off, the startup sound? The startup music for this, the default theme music for MZ, is much less likely to deafen you. It's very nice and relaxing. Yeah, animations are made pretty much out of engine. Because I mean, that's really the same thing would be said if you were making a sprite sheet animation, right? If you're making a sprite sheet animation, you make it in Photoshop. You're not making it in the thing. Also, I'm gonna go sound test because I have to do this because this is my favorite of the new songs, and I know some people are going to hate it. Some people really are going to hate this song. And I don't care. It's very good. Yeah, you need to use Effectseer to customize panel animations. But it's a free program, so play the Laugh SE at 150% pitch. I will do that. Let's see. Just because Hidden One asked me to. Laugh. 150% pitch. Oh no. Oh no. I told you, people are going to really hate that track, but I don't care. It's very good. It's because I have this feeling that the reason people don't like that track is because they're boomers. I say this, and I'm still older than most of the RPG Maker fandom, probably. Sorry, I'm trying to read things in the chat, and it's going very fast. Okay, so new parts of event commands. So I showed one earlier, which was in get location info. You can designate the player or an event as the location you want to get the information from, which is one. In the message system now, where show text, you have name tags now, so that was added in. A big one is plugin commands, though I can't really show, like, instead of doing the thing where you had to type the plugin command, it now lets you put in the designer of the plugin to put in arguments and stuff. And for, like, simple commands, some people are like, oh, is that really as useful as typing them? I still think it was, because having to remember all the different plugin command arguments was a pain. But if you've seen some of the Vistastella, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, plugin commands that have, like, just a mass amount of arguments, it's so much simpler than trying to remember them all. And yes, you can load the animations from MZ into Effectseer. I actually loaded them in myself. Looking at them, I didn't edit any of them. I have not had time to learn Effectseer yet because I've been doing a lot of writing and marketing stuff. So I've been mostly just doing stuff in the things. Someone did ask about the default database for actors. You have Reed, Priscilla, Gail, Michelle, Albert, Casey, Elliot, and Rosa, which spells RPG Maker, which is the most boring option they could have gone with. But it's what they went with. What does MZ stand for? It's a very good question. I don't know. I meant to ask, but then at some point it became funnier for me not to know, so I just stopped trying to think about asking. Let's see. Is Pixie actually import properly this time, or is it still using a similar implementation the last time? I do not know exactly how. I know it's using the latest version of Pixie, but I am not... I am not a programmer, so I couldn't tell you how it's doing stuff with Pixie. I'm sure there are people in the chat that probably know more about the background programming than I do. Also, yes, Smug Read is the best read. What does the icon set look like? There we go. That's something else I can look at. Let's see, where is that? Oh, I can just open up a skill. So here's our icon set. I like them. A lot of, some people said they don't. I think they look good. They're simplistic, but I like the gradients in the background. But, again, if you like MVs better, they're the same format. If you like some ones on the forums better, same format. So just load in the ones you want. But these are the ones that it comes with. And I'll probably use them in my game, because I kind of like them. Will there ever be a resource release of the original RPG Maker 1 PS1 music? Maybe. I'll tell people that they're asking. Can we see what's in the DLC folder? What plugins that come with MV? Or MZ? Let us pull open. I was in the thing. I don't know what they want me to show you on this, because there is... I'm not going to open it because I don't want anyone to get mad at me. But in the launch folder, there are 48 plugins. And then, in the official folder, there is another 9. So, 50-something plugins in the DLC folder. New skill targeting options. The only one that... so, the scope, it adds this one, where it hits everybody. And I think that's the only new one in it, is all. Auto layering versus manual layering for mapping. I did a little bit of that earlier. In fact, what I was doing when I was mapping is I would map everything. I would just map everything I wanted to in auto, and it would do it the same way as MV did, which is what I was doing here. And then when I wanted to put these stairs down, you can use Control-Tab to switch between the layers. I just switched manually to layer 2 and drew the stairs in. But that's generally how I've been trying to use it, is just do most things auto, and then whenever I need to, I can flip between them. You're pre-ordering as we speak. Thank you. I appreciate you pre-ordering. Yeah, Heartless, I don't know what all 50 of those do. I haven't had time to explore what all 57, I think, of those plugins do. So... let's see. We've looked at animations. We've looked at System 1 and 2. I don't think there's anything new in terms, but I could be wrong because I've been using MZ for so long at this point, I forget what wasn't in MV. So our default skills, there's actually... The default database is actually very full this time compared to when MV launched, it was not this full. And it's useful because, like, for beginners, it's nice to have a lot of stuff built in. The things like the way the formula box works is the same, which is really good because the formula box is very powerful. I probably should not leave attack with all as everyone. This default attack just hits everything. Let's see. I feel a great sense of loss because the three-dimensional function of the map making tool has disappeared from MV. But does MZ function like XP? I'm not sure what you're asking me on that question. Weapons and armor still the same. It's pretty much the same. I don't think there's any major differences in how they're set up. There might be some more changes in here. But I cannot remember, like again, that's another situation, and I know it sounds really dumb. It's better by the standalone program or the Steam version of MZ. If it's going to be the same cost to you either way, I would suggest buying it on the standalone store because it gives you a key for Steam anyway. So if you want to use it through Steam, it's just as easy to buy the standalone. Someone explain wait and active battle system for me. Okay, so I'm just going to very quickly... Let's go to system and switch it to turn-based battle active. Let's see. And let's do a battle test. And since I put it on side view, let's move these dudes over here. So right now I have it on time progress battle system. And it's on active. So on active, you'll notice that I have full bars, but the enemies keep going. And even when someone's bar fills up. So if I switch that, and let's go to in system 1, if I go to wait, so as soon as someone's bar fills up, everything stops until you make decisions. So that's basically the difference between it. It's the same as active and wait in like Final Fantasy VII. Is any news on the bundles availability in the RPG Maker web store? Is still being worked on. I haven't heard anything specific about it. If it's going to be there, it's not going to be until Sunday because that's when Japan team gets back into office. Will there be some compatibility issues with MV plugins for MZ? Yes. Almost all of them will not work. Some people are working on updates to their plugins to make them work. Wait, FF7 had a choice for that? Yeah. You could change it to wait in the menu. I almost always do. Why is there 2 system tabs? Because there was a bunch more options, and it was just easier to split it in 2 than try to cram it all in one. Like, the battle system section right here with the turn progress stuff, and then there's a couple more options here, and then this whole advanced section is new, and this item category section is new. So instead of trying to shove it all into one system tab, they just split it in 2. Okay. I'm gonna go back to mapping for a little while. I really want to make this look better than it is. Can we show bus instead of face in messages? It's not default behavior, but I'm almost certain that Vistella's message system does it. Almost certain. The message core. And I'm sure someone in chat can tell you if I'm correct on that. Can you make more weapon animations or is it fixed? What do you mean by weapon animations? And I can answer that question. Okay. I stopped talking for a second because my brain was not functioning trying to read the chat. You know, actually, I should probably put him in the map. What are the new show picture options? Oh, that's a good one. I haven't talked about that. I think I need to... Hold on. Let me put a picture in my game. I cannot remember where my game folder is, so let's open folder. Oh, it already had all the busts in. I could have just used one of the busts. I'll do that. Okay, so new picture options. Because I haven't actually used them yet. So I cannot tell you exactly how they work. I know it makes it easier to move them around the screen. So picture, show picture. Let's go with his bust is going to appear in the upper right. Okay. Move picture. Say slow start and end. So let's have it go to 100, 100. Okay. Duration, 1 second. Wait for completion. Let's make this a little longer. And let's give this something so that I can interact with it. Okay. Yeah, easing is one of the things added. So let's see what it does. Oh, that's neat. I like the way... Like, it's dumb that I don't know what exactly how easing works. But you notice how, like, at the beginning and end of the movement, it doesn't just move at one consistent speed. It sort of slows down just a little bit at the beginning, or starts slow and then speeds up and then slows back down at the end. Yeah, it makes it smoother. So that's kind of cool. I get to learn things while I'm doing it. Oh, one thing I know I showed it a little bit, and I think you can see it in the sample games, but the way the menu, like this, the fact that it does the mouse over stuff, and that's like just default behavior, is so nice. And a lot more touchscreen / mouse interaction buttons. I think this works a lot better with mouse control than I still, because I'm me, would play most RPG Maker games with a controller. But mouse control is much better than it used to be. Any new conditional branches? MZ, does it have autosave? Yes. Yeah, it has autosave. I think the autosave is a little too ambitious, as in it saves when you load any new map and after every battle. I would use a plugin to turn off the after every battle part. But yes, it does have autosave now, which you can also turn off in the system if you don't want autosave in your game. I can't show any launch plugins. I did not ask, so I'm not going to. Because I did show that there was an 8-direction plugin. So but I didn't want to show any of the other ones because like I didn't ask, so I don't want to show them, and then it turned out I wasn't supposed to show them yet. So I'm cleared to show everything else in this, and I can show you all of the materials, play any music I want to. Okay. Let's see, can you show the scripting screen? What do you mean by the scripting screen? Like, if you just mean the plugin manager, let me load some plugins in. Oh, actually, hold on. This is actually new tile screen choices. Yeah. So I'll show the tile screen choices in just a second. But I'm gonna load in this one because it has I can show the plugin command. So now with plugin commands, you do this, you pick which plugin you want to pull from, and then you have set button pictures, and then it will send you arguments, and you can say, okay, you want it to run common event 1 when picture number 1 is clicked. So with this, let me go make a common event really quick. So show text. I'm just going to have it say yay. I can't think of anything else to have it say at the moment. But alright, so let me play test this really quick. So now, that picture of Reed, if I click over here, nothing happens. But if I click here, oh wait, did I do it wrong? I might have done it wrong. Let me make sure I did the thing correct. Doop-a-doo. It may be that I'm stupid. That may be why I'm having trouble with doing this. Make sure I have it on the right thing. That's picture 1. Plugin manager. Edit. Or no. That's on. Oh. I know why. Okay, wait a minute. It's because this isn't on. I am dumb. That's what happened. Let's have it run parallel. Now whenever I click on this image, it shows that event command. I forgot to have the thing that makes it, that calls the plugin command. That's just really cool. So that means you can do all kinds of neat menu stuff. You can have like use images for UI stuff, put buttons over here. By the way, also the little hamburger button in these buttons are actually in the window skins. So you can actually change what these look like too, pretty easily. How does plugin managers work on the side of the plugin file? Is it comments like plugin manager? It's using it does it the same way the plugin manager stuff is done. Click the transparent area of the picture. I think it does detect the transparent section, but let me check. It's important to know for like yeah, it's still if it's in the area of the picture, even if it's transparent, it counts. Yeah, the hamburger button, I had never heard that before, and someone on the forums called it that, and I was just like very confused. Until they actually told me what they meant by a hamburger button, and then I realized that that is exactly what it looks like. Let's see. Can it port to Android easily? It can. You output it to. So when you want to do Android, you deploy, and you deploy it to web browser, and then you use a wrapper. Using a wrapper is not the simplest thing in the world to do. I understand, but it's because deployment for Android and iOS both changed so rapidly that it's better to take someone who's making a wrapper who all they are doing is attempting to make that wrapper compatible, because that is so much development just to do that. So it's better to rely on something like that than for us to try to do something. It would be like the same thing with effects here, where why would we rewrite an entire animation editor when there's a free one out there that's already fully developed just for that. Yeah, when we released MV, there was Android deployment instructions in the help file. By the time MV was released, those instructions were out of date. It just moves too fast. And so, like, hopefully someone, there's going to be guides on how to do it, but every guide on how to do it is going to be have to be updated constantly. Can you use WASD? I'm pretty sure. I don't think that's changed. Actually, you cannot. But also, I'm pretty sure you can hear my keyboard. Does 8-directional movement work with click movement? I don't know. That's a good question. I'm going to put it in and see if it does. Also at touch input, player moves 8 direction. Alright. It says it does, so let's see what happens. Yep. It does use 8 direction, even when doing... That's so very smooth. I will admit that a lot of this is me learning new things because you asked me. Which is going to be a lot of my further streams. Which, by the way, while I'm thinking about it, I was going to announce there's a whole bunch of content coming. I'm going to map while I'm speaking. So we decided that we needed to have a whole lot more things for everybody to see. Yeah, we put out occasional tutorials, stuff like that. But we want to put out a ton more content for you guys. So there's going to be weekly tutorials for written. There is going to be 2 streams a week. One of the people from Studio Blue are going to be playing games from the community, and there's a forum topic on the forums if you would like to submit your game to be played. There's also going to be highlights of people's stuff from the community once a week. We haven't done any of those yet, but that's starting next week. So we're trying to just provide a lot more cool stuff for people to see. I'm going to be doing a once a week stream making a game from scratch, which will be fun because it's going to be me remembering how to do everything live. Can you showcase window offset for title screens? Oh yeah, that's an interesting one. I hadn't even thought about that. So database system 1. I forgot about the offset here. So let's do like 30, 50. So what this does is your title screen, it just moves around the window a little bit. So if you're So if you like, you wanted to put it like over in the corner because of the way your background looked, there you go. Oh, also people wanted to see the default title screens. So that's in System 1. So here are all the default title screens. I like the art. Oh, that one's nice. I like that one. Like, I don't know about for a title screen for me personally, but I just like the way it looks. That one, I really feel that one could make a really fun game just looking at it as inspiration. Let's see. Gonna stick it on. Where was that one that I thought looked so cool? That one. There we go. Conditional branch pages. I cannot remember if there's any changes in conditional branches. There may be, and I'm just not remembering it. There's also the times where I forget what was in MV and what's not. Offset eyes and other parts. Yeah, I'll show that in a second. And I'll look at my battlebacks in a minute, too. Just hope there's a pixel movement plugin from someone soon. Maybe someone will make it. It's a difficult thing to make, though, because pixel movement gets to be really complicated with collision detection. So, hopefully someone makes it and they're a really good programmer. So, yeah, I think the conditional branches is mostly the same. I don't remember there being any changes to it. Let's see, battlebacks. Troops. There's a way you can do it. Change battleground. So here's all the floors. Ooh, I like that cyberspace one. Let me see if there's a matching one. I think it looks better with the dark space background. Or top for the background. I think you could use like the cyberspace bottom though with like almost anything in like to be some kind of like in a video game thing. Can you explore show different resolution and resolution changes? Yeah, I can mess with the resolution. There are a lot of the default battle backgrounds. The Demon Castle now is really green, by the way. Yeah, I was thinking like the holodeck. That was like I was trying to think of a way of putting it. Some kind of VR thing. But I didn't think of holodeck because I've never been into Star Trek. Still nothing to edit your own menus. No, that was like a little outside the scope of what we wanted to do. But I'm sure you'll get stuff like Luna Engine. Plugins are made in an external editor, which makes sense. There's a good reason for that. It's the same reason as I was talking about with effects here. Is that there's so many really good like Notepad++ for editing code. So having one built in is not useful compared to that. I think I agree. I like the purple better on the Demon Castle, but again, choices. Like, let's actually load the Demon Castle map. It's gonna be green. I don't hate it. I like it. I think I like the purple more, but I just like purple more than I like green anyway as a color. I kind of feel like, though, like, if I edited the tile set and darkened it a little bit, I might like it more. It's really interesting to me. This green almost gives it a sci-fi look to it, right? Instead of just being... Oh, they have us set up a parallax on this one, too. Okay, let's see. Someone asked me something, and I don't remember what it was. Why not have a settings to choose an external editor to use for MZ? Just basically a shortcut. How long until people start hating on the new RTP? There's been people already doing that. That's fine. Like I said, you have choices. Everything MV is compatible. So if you don't like it, just use some other stuff. I like a good bit of the new RTP. Oh, resolution. Someone asked about changing the resolution. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do something really silly or something. We're gonna we're going to use the most dumb resolution I can think of. Just random things. And it just works, which is neat. You know how often I forget that you can shift to run in RPG Maker games? Just all the time I forget. But it's because I map not thinking about running. Like, I would rather have a slightly faster walk speed and just not have run in the game at all. 320, 240? I wonder how it would work. I wonder if there's a minimum you can put it on. Let's look at this. If I put in 320 by 240, will it work correctly? And I don't know, because like it may end up with some issues of it being... Well, I know I'm going to need to change the UI area width on this. It may end up with a situation where like some of the UI stuff is just too big to work at that small of a size. Yeah. It does not seem to want to work like that. I think there's probably a minimum. I don't know what that minimum is. 1 by 1. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do a 1 by 1 map or 1 by 1 screen UI. But you can do you know, a really good standard widescreen. And it's just as easy as putting in those numbers, and there you go. I think actually I should have not made the UIs wide. I think the UI looks better thinner. Oh, character creation offset. That's another thing that people wanted to see. Let me just really quickly go into the UI width, and I want to change this because I think that it would look better thinner. And I want to see how that looks. Yeah, that's really better. Okay. Let's see. Character generator. We have busts and full arts for like 120 characters. It was the main, like, villagers, monsters, evil characters. It's just tons of stuff that it has full arts for. Yeah, you can change the hamburger button. It's in the window skin images. If someone puts it into full screen, does it keep the resolution scale or does it make the viewport bigger? I think it keeps this. It does keep the same resolution scale. I agree. It's very important for mapping. This is like I was talking to someone on the forums about the idea uh, of designing for multiple resolutions. Is that if you have multiple resolutions, you have to either have multiple copies of your tile sets and stuff, or you're going to show different sizes of the different things for different people and different resolutions, and that's not very good for design. All right, let's play with some offsets because somebody wanted to do it. Let's do a couple of randomizes first. Oh boy, that man is tragic. All right, let's grab a part and start moving it around. Let's move his mouth. You can see you can go up to 8. I know some people wanted to be able to put mouths on foreheads and do some me stuff, but that's not what was done. They wanted to keep it somewhat within the realm of realism. A good place to get custom character shots for a good price. I do not know. What about using 96 by 96 sprites rather than 48 by 48? So the one issue you'll run into is tiles that are over, like star tiles, but plugins can fix that problem. Let's move his eyes around. I don't know where I'm going to put them. It may not be as bad as you can do with Mies, but I think you can still do some really horrifying things. Yeah, Driftwood is working with us to do a whole bunch of tutorials. I think they've actually recorded a bunch of them already. T and Drifty have been working on that, and we're glad to be working with them. Yeah, 48 by 96 sprites makes more sense, like, or is in like 96 height, because 96 by 96, you're just making them big. I think the point, like most people, just want to make tall sprites, which is fine. I have my opinions on tall sprites, but do they change on the side view battler? They do not. The offset is only on the face. There's just not enough room on the battlers and the sprites to really move stuff around. There is not a monster generator. Yes, the Driftwood Gaming gift card is very good. If it, you know, I will just say that I've enjoyed my time there as just a normal person, not as an official representative of RPG Maker. Yeah, I do like the 3 damage sprites. I'm gonna actually open that to show. I don't know if people actually noticed that. So in the character generator, you now have laying back, leaning forward, and then like laying down forward for down sprites. You don't just have one type of down sprite. I wish to hit randomize a few times. It doesn't quite make the nightmare creatures that oh wait, I said that and then that the energy this person is giving off is, I don't know, sad. I can't answer anything on like who's making what plugins. I haven't. I know Visistella is making a lot of the Yanfly plugins updated to MZ. I still hope I'm saying that correctly. I have to ask Nessie at some point if Visistella is the correct way to say it. Let's see. Kids character generator, yeah. I think I showed it a little bit earlier, but I can show it again. That's fine. Yeah, because I made this smug-looking kid. Just what we need, like side view battler kids. You put an R on the end of it. Vizustellar. Yeah, she has to find me first before she can kill me. I haven't been able to get like a true horror show like VXAce can make from Randomize yet. That is a sad child, though. But see, they all look like people, even if there might be something a little weird about them. Whereas VXAce always made some of the most sad and horrifying things. Let's see. Clothing parts. Yeah, wait, let's look at the clothes. And I will show you how to change the font in just a second, because it's very, very simple to change font in this one. There's the clothes for the children. And you know what it makes talking about grotesques. This makes me think of the grotesqueries from like the grotesquerie queen from Drakengard. Yeah, randomizer actually, like, I tried to make something horrifying and it actually just made something super cute that I posted on the forums. Windy, for people who have not seen. Okay, so someone's saying something about the wanting to see how to change your font. That's it. You put the font file in the folder, and then you go into here and you put it in right here. That's it. That's all you gotta do to change fonts. So it's like super easy to change fonts in this one. Yeah, I think you can actually use the MZ character gen for RTP games. I mean, if you were just gonna make a game for a hobby thing, yeah, there's no reason not to use it in this one. Whereas I still would not have used the VXAce one, no matter what I was doing. Just as a comment, on my character generator stuff, I might have stuff from some of the DLCs in mine, and I don't know if that's true or not. So, because this is my Steam folder, and it may have just automatically put them in. Actually, I know how to check. There is, I think it's a facial mark in the kids generator. Okay, no, I don't have the extra stuff because they have the little facial hair drawn on. All right. Well, I have this map that I've been working on. It is not an attractive map, but it is mine. If anyone wants to see something specific, tell me in the chat, and I'll go look at it. It's JavaScript. MZ is JavaScript, just like MV was. And yeah, you can find plenty of fonts you can find plenty of fonts that are commercial use online. I've looked for ones for commercial use because I use them when I'm doing marketing stuff. You can find plenty of good fonts out there. Let's see, max database, map, switch, and variable limits. I think most of them are the same as MV, but something was changed. I want to say it was switch and variables, maybe. I really wish my brain could remember things like this on the spot, but it can't. I know that, like, maximums here are the same, which I think is 5,000. Or 2,000, yeah, 2,000. I know that, like, stuff like here, I think, is the same. I think that something was increased, and I can't remember which one it was. Oh, you want to look at event route preview? Man, how did I not think of this? Because that is like one of the coolest ones. Let's go look at an event map pre-event. All right. So set movement route. Player. So let's just go and add. No, let's not do this. I always do this where I'm like adding in things that are just do the thing. And then all right. And now wait, hold on. I forgot to hit the button I was going to hit. We can show the preview. And so we just pressed where we want it to start from. And as you can see, it just highlights exactly where how you're going to move. Does event route preview work with script and or random? Does it preview jumps? Let's put a jump in. Actually, let's delete most of this so that I can actually see what it does. So let's do a jump. Jump. Have him jump like that. And I went out of it again. Yep. Oh, it has a little different color too. Let me like put some moves in before and after it. Move down, down, right, right. And exit out of it again without hitting preview. Oh yeah, see? It shows the jump with a different color. Like I said, you can set where the start point is. I love the preview. That's so good. Let's see what it does when you put in random though. Move it random. Ah. Okay, it seems to have like a... It just shows a pink dot, I think, when you have move it random. I wonder how it acts with, like... I guess it would know which direction you moved last, so... I do wonder what it does, though, if you put step forwards. Like, how... I guess it just goes down if you haven't specified direction. Is changing RP Maker's tile size a built-in feature? Or will that only be doable with plugins? Plugins. That'll be a plugin feature. Okay. Blend mode. There. I do not remember what was in MV, so... Yeah, being able to draw that out would be nice, but... Just being able to, like, preview it is such an enhancement over what we were doing before. See how parallaxes are handled. I believe parallaxes are pretty much the same. So let's... First, let me do some deleting on the map. Oh, here's a cool thing. I haven't talked about this yet. So instead of having, when you have the event layer up, instead of having the maps, you have this. So you can open up. And it like highlights which map, like see it's highlighting the event. And you can see in the bottom right corner here, it also tells you what the location of that event is. That's really cool. All right, let me... The call script screen in the event editor. I think it's pretty much the same. It's just a box. Yeah, event list is going to be is also another one of those things. It's going to teach me to actually name my events. Can we stack tiles with map layers? Yes. Oh, and yeah, when you clone a bunch of events, like when you're cloning a bunch of torches and stuff like that, really useful. So back to what I was doing though. Do some transparency so I can add a parallax to this map. I don't know why I'm doing this in the most dumb way possible. I can just go right around and then fill the rest. Yeah, plugin command to me is going to be is going to have the biggest changes. The ability to have super complex plugin commands without being a huge mental load on the on users is just going to be, it's just going to change everything. Shot processing is the same as it was before, but I have seen a plugin that does something different. Not released from us. Okay, so let's put a parallax on this one. That's a cool parallax. I'm gonna get dark space because that gives this map a whole new feeling. I'm gonna play that because I think I feel like that's gonna look really cool. Yeah. That does look really cool. That changed the feeling of this temple really fast. Sorry, I was stretching for a second. Yeah, widescreen, you can just system 2, set your resolution what you want it to be, and then set the UI width and stuff like that. Nothing's stopping you from making it a silly resolution, sillier than MZ's default resolution. Default doors, stairs. So what do you mean by default doors and stairs? We're making pictures bigger and smaller. So, one of the problems with that is that, that's just resizing pictures. As the animated tiles look, does full screen still have black bars? It depends on the resolution you're working on. Oh, you're talking about default events? Yeah, those are still in there. Quick event creation. Yeah. That stuff's still there. I mean, there's a reason to have 100+ scripts in a game. But if you're putting 100+ scripts in your game and you're not thinking about why you're doing it and what each thing is, can we still attach crit hit, HP regen, TP gain to our weapons and items? Nothing from MV is missing. Everything in MV exists in MZ. holding control during playtesting? Pretty sure you can. We'll go walk through some walls. Yep, you can still do that. I keep forgetting that I have the 8-direction plugin running. It's very smooth. Can you let us listen to some more of the background music? Yeah, sure. But first, I'm really annoyed with my brain because I didn't fix something. Because if I'm gonna have the outside, I need to actually put walls. Alright, that looks better. Let's go to some sound tests. Alright, what kind of music does someone want to hear? Do we want theme, ship, town, scene, field, dungeon, castle? The first person who says one of the things. What BGM would I give this room? Huh. I remember there was I want to say it was one of the scene ones that was really... Oh, wait, no. The Dungeon 5? There we go. That's the one I would give this place. Alright, and someone said Castle 3. Lower the pitch. Actually, Castle 3 with the lower pitch, it's actually pretty nice. Yeah, if you don't hit stop, it keeps playing. So I can actually turn on music and let it play. This would make a really good theme for some, like, really dramatic, sad thing happening with it pitched down like this. Okay, something futuristic sounding. I think there's... There we go. Scene 7. I really like a lot of music in this. It's just really good. All the assets I'm playing right now is stuff that's default. I'm trying to look for a specific one. I'm really like I really feel like a lot of the modern pieces have a very SMT vibe to them. Okay, lower the pitch to 70% on scene 7. Okay. I feel like if we're gonna go for that tune, we need to go like maybe 70. Mobile export is output to web and then use a dedicated wrapper to send it to mobile. Okay, someone said some stuff about like music effects as well. Like no, actually these I don't think I've even listened to yet. That one sounds familiar. Do I have like a sci-fi victory? Oh, there we go. The when you send out a map now, when you do the export map, it's the right size. It does not resize it. I actually showed some of the modern tile sets, but I'll go back and show them. So here's like the world map sci-fi stuff. Here is like some city stuff. And here's a military base. And now I'll go back to the sounds because people are still asking about that. So the three that I just showed were default maps. Default, okay, so defeat, game over. So Gag? Yeah, I was good thinking about playing that one. I feel like in some games, that could be the game over sounds. It's like... Let's see some, sound effects. I want to hear mystery. Higher pitch for gag. Let's see what that... Gag at 150. Money, Essie. I didn't see a money. There's a lot of monster. Okay. I was curious what noise was, because it's just... I just really like a lot of the more sci-fi sounding stuff. Yeah, the static noise. I just thought it was funny. It was just like, of course, they have a sound effect just named noise. Like, yeah, of course, you have noise. That's what a sound effect is. Uh... Coin. Ew. Cat? Yes, cat is still in there. It is still up. Will the background sound be turned off by an event? Yeah, if you turn it on, you have to turn it back off somehow. And yeah, I am happy about not having to deal with M4As anymore. Now that we have everything is OGG. So, bird sounds. Where are there bird sounds? I do not see bird. Yes, cat. Can you play some of the system sounds like load and select? Okay. Well, here's cursor sounds. Just as a thing, though, one of the things that I realized old school games did, though, and going back and trying to play some now, is that cursor sounds are really obnoxious in a lot of old games. They're really loud. See, I like ones like this. Very understated. That's a little much. If every single time you selected something in the game, it made that noise, it would just be obnoxious after a while. Let's see. Load. What was the other one? Save. Some of the animation samples. Let's go back to the animations. I think we looked at this before. This is going to be the most disjointed stream for anyone watching later, because it's all just me looking at whatever someone asks me to look at. Some of the sound effects, yes, are from older ones. Like some things like cat. I think cat has been it's like a bazillion of them. And it's the same sound in every single one. Do I really need 8 gigabytes of RAM to run this? To be safe, yes. But generally, you could probably run it with less, but, you know, if it doesn't work, that's not on us. Because we said you needed 8 gigabytes. Go through your playlist of what you plan today. Be very difficult because I planned nothing. Because I knew that it was going to be just people asking me stuff. New weather effects or battle effects. I'm pretty sure weather is pretty much the same. But let me check. Yeah, it's the same weather effects. The one thing is, though, I guarantee that we're going to get somebody making a really nice plugin command that does a lot more weather effects. Also, another thing about where I somehow like the way these look. So I'm only streaming at 30 frames a second. These are all actually 60 frames a second. So it'll actually look smoother than what you're seeing in the stream. I'm just streaming at 30 frames a second because of bandwidth. I didn't want to go 60. For most of what I'm showing, it doesn't really matter that it's only 30. To have controller support, yes. But it's... If you're looking for full controller support, like every single button on a Xbox controller, probably be a plugin for that. I'm hoping, because I really like using the controller. Custom weather graphics is plug-in dependent. You'll need... You know, I don't know how... Now that I think about it, I don't know where it pulls the weather graphics from. Maybe in images, but generally, like, yeah, plugin would be to add more stuff. Window editor built in. No. Oh, rotate some animations. That's actually a cool thing to show people. Let me pick one that I think looks really cool to rotate around. There's like the breath weapon. Or wait, let's see. Actually, let's rotate this one because that'll be interesting. So one of the things you can do is rotate. So I can like go 70. Actually, wait, I cannot rotate. Breath is a good one to try to rotate. So see right now, it's coming from there. You can rotate it. Or maybe I'm rotating the wrong thing. Let me try to rotate this one, maybe. What am I doing wrong? Oh, I think I know what the problem is. Yeah, let me scale it back down a little bit so it's easier to see the rotation. Nope, not what I wanted to do. Wrong button. Okay, see now it's going that way. Rotate. Like, obviously I wouldn't, I can put it 180 and it'll now push from that side. So because of their particle effects and their 3D, you can just rotate them how you want them to be rotated, and you can scale them. I can put it at 50% speed so it plays slower. There's a question: if you put a ground tile on the upper layer, will you automatically appear under it, or will the tile set setting apply? Okay, so the layers are still dependent on, so in the database where you set tile sets, so it's still dependent on the whole like passaging stuff. If it's set to go over you, it will go over you. One thing it will do, if you do something really weird, so like let me pick a tile that is over. I can find one I know is over. I think that. Let me make sure I'm right on the tile set and what is star passability. Okay. So here's one. I'll put some of these down. So these right here, let's put them on layer 2. And then let's put some layer 3 on layer 3. Let's put that. It still draws it on top because this is star passability. So the passability is what determines what you can walk under or over. It has nothing to do with the layering of the map. And in fact, if you have something with star passability and you put something that is X or circle over it in the mapping, it'll still draw under it. So there's like a small explanation of how the mapping with layers works. So like layers, layer 1 through 4 have nothing to do with passability at all. Okay, let's see. Got an hour left. What else can I look at? Is there anything in the database we haven't looked at yet? We looked at animations. Surligna, something like that. The particle effects you could organize it to breathe out from a character's mouth if that character was always in the same place. So like you could put a dragon in a specific place and give him a specific animation with a specific setting to make it come out of that character's mouth. I thought about like how cool it'd be to see someone do a plugin, where I'm gonna do some mapping while I talk. It'd be neat if to do a plugin where you could have the animations draw from one character to another. That'd be pretty cool. MV had really sparse data for default database. Yes, that is not the case here. The default databases are huge. What does the school maps look like? That's a good question. See, let's head down to school. Upper class home, school hallway, school classroom. So here's the classroom. Let's see. If we assume that each square is a 5-foot square, they are properly socially distancing. That also makes this a very big classroom. Have a good day, Author Roy. Have I looked at types? I haven't looked at types yet. Let me load the other school map. The school hallway one. That's our school maps. Largest default database? I can't remember one that was larger. Like, I mean... Well, I mean, I added a bunch of area, but, like, it goes to 229, but there's a lot of empty skill space for you if you want to make it. But it's got a lot in there. So I wouldn't doubt if it was the largest default database that we've had. It's definitely larger than MV's. You know, I think I just picked up the 5-foot squares thing from D&D. Oh, you want to look at the outside school? That's probably what it was. The outside of the building. School, yeah. Oh, I quite like that one. Is there inventory lag when you set up like 5,000 items in the database? Not to my knowledge. I haven't seen it. Are there sci-fi vehicles? I have not looked at the vehicles. Sci-fi vehicle. Yes, there are indeed sci-fi vehicles. Yeah, motorcycle. That's all that matters, guys. The motorcycle. You gotta be cool. Okay, so types. I want to say this like generally acts pretty much the same as MV. I saw a really cool bit in Visistella that let, like, if you have two that are named the same, by default, they don't access the same groupings. Oh yeah, the dragon vehicle's cool too. It is in there. But with one of the Visistella plugins I saw, you can actually have like both of these draw from the same pool, which is kind of cool because I'm going to use that in my game. I have a bunch of ideas for the game I'm going to be doing. But yeah, there was a dragon airship thing. Plugins made with MV will not work for MZ. Show us export settings. Probably not going to be anything too exciting for you guys, but I will show it to you. So you have the exclude unused files, Windows, Macs, and then browser. Browser is also how you're going to do all of your mobile exporting. And then encryption for image and audio files. Exclude unused files still is there. There's actually a thing to mark in Yanfly retired, but Visistella is there doing a whole bunch of the stuff. MZ is still based on JavaScript, yes. Yeah, I think everyone should check out Visistella. I still don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but their scripts are their plugins are really cool, and they're like basically the next step of Yanfly. They're ported and enhanced, and a lot of them are combined into core scripts. So like maybe 10 of the plugins from Yanfly's Yap engine are just like one core thing, and the people who are doing it are really cool, and I think you should support them. And so I just randomly threw some kind of I replaced a air conditioning with, I'm not sure what that is. I have the problem that like as I'm talking, I'll stop doing anything. Uh, terms, I don't think there's anything in here that's new. I don't think. But it again is a situation where I can't remember because I've been using MZ for a while. Yeah, Investostella, like I think has 10 core plugins that are all going to be available on release, and they're all going to be free, and they cover tons of the stuff that Yanfly's plugins did. I know I'm like being official RPG Maker content here, but and plugging a third party, but Vistastella is really good. Okay. Yeah, the new tile sets are very very high saturation, which I like the high saturation, but if you don't, it doesn't take very long to open them up in Photoshop and lower the saturation a little bit. Or even mess with some hues a bit if you don't want the bright green demon castle. When importing tile sets, do we still have to go into the database and set up passability by hand? Yes, but I would like to get something, a way to do that automatically. I'm trying to figure out how we can do that. Water, let's see. Actually, that'd be a cool thing to add to this temple. Is some water. Where's like a... I have to make these rooms a little bigger. What we didn't really show a whole lot of gameplay because mostly I'm just talking about how things have changed. Haven't really discussed like specific gameplay stuff or actually gone in and just played anything. I feel as though I am grab the wrong tile there. Maybe I should just round this out here like that. So you can walk all the way around it. So, saying the editor looks improved. I think the editor is improved. Some of the things that are new to the editor is we now have control over layers and mapping. So you can like leave it on automatic, which puts things down automatically. You can switch through the layers. When you're on the event layer, you can actually just click over here for where your events are. The save crystal art. Huh, I don't remember. Let us see what the save crystals look like. That would be, let's go to event layer. I always like the save crystals. I use them for all kinds of things. Da da da. Crystal. I don't know. I think I might like the old ones better. I mean, there's nothing wrong with these. Oh, and I like that. Ooh, wait. Hold on. Let me walking, setting, direction fix. I think that actually now floats up and down. Ooh. It rotates and floats. That looks cool. I was saying I liked the old ones better, but now that I know these are animated like that, that's just cool. Yeah, I think that is the one thing the crystals. I think I would bring the saturation down a little bit on those. I'm mesmerized by it spinning. How about the RPG Road bloggers? What are you asking about the bloggers? Are you excuse me, sorry, my chair is squeaking. Are you asking about the people we now have 2 people writing blog posts for us that we brought in, the writing team? Which is nice. I appreciate that we brought in 2 people to help write so we can have more content. The old ones animated too, did they? I don't think they spun though. I think they just like floated. Yes. They are going to do more they're going to do more guides and stuff like that. Will the tile sets be compatible with Sakan or Sakan? The thing about Sakan, you won't be able to use it through MZ, but you could load the tile set into MV and then use MV Sakan, yes. Or Sakan. You know, I'm trying to learn Japanese right now, and you would think that I would be working on how I pronounce things, but basically no. I don't. I'm bad at it. Yeah, Avery and Hidden One are now working with us on doing tutorials and some other stuff. Big thanks to them. They're doing a great job already. Though not much of it has been posted yet because we worked up a buffer. But over the next few weeks and hopefully months and maybe we'll get to years, they will be helping out with stuff. I wonder, by the way, is there any transparency on these purple tiles? Actually, hold on. I know what I want to do on this map. I see I can find any tiles with a bit of transparency. I don't think they made any. I was hoping there was like some glass-like tiles. Which you could make them with like a bit of transparency to them. And make like a little floating glassy looking. Yeah, trying to learn Japanese. I'm not doing well. I have learned all of my hiragana. Can we still do Android port? Yes, you outport to let me get to working on some stuff in here while I talk, so I don't just do nothing. Yeah, you still do an export for Android, but you export to web, and then you use a wrapper on it. And there was another question: how many DLC works? Most DLC will work. The exceptions are going to be your animation DLC. That's and generator parts. That's pretty much it. Let's do some shift clicking here. Actually, I don't even have to do some shift clicking. Let's go, because this is on the second layer. So let's go to layer 1. If I can find layer 1 again. That's automatic. Layer 1. If I just extend this through here. There we go. I just have to use layers. I don't have to use shift clicking as much. The purple and green are do have translucence to them, are they? Maybe they are? Let's put them on layer 2. Maybe a little bit. I don't know if I can see through it. Will there be any free DLC in normal version of MZ like we had with MV? Generator parts don't work because the bases are just different. Because they just won't fit onto where the face is in the same, like exactly the same, because the base is just a little bit different. Yeah, the resolution can be changed. I don't know. I think I like that purple better. Why did I make those green? Let's go back to layer 2 and make them purple. Purple is just a better color than green. Purple and green together, though, make lots of villains. Lots of superhero villains are purple and green. I think the animated battlers have the same. Because I think the layout on these are pretty much the same. Yeah, MV projects can be converted into MZ ones. The only thing is that plugins are not going to work. And the animations, because animations are done with particle animations now. Map tree organizing. Okay, yeah, that's an easy one. Yeah, discard changes. So let's say I wanted to put the school here. So one of the problems that we had that you had before, you could do it, but it was a pain. Is say I had 3 maps under school. Before, to reorder these, you had to like if I wanted to put this one at the bottom, I had to drag it back onto here to put it at the bottom. But now I can just like reorganize between different ones, and you don't have to worry about. It's just a quality of life thing. You could always reorganize that way, but it's now just so much easier to reorganize. So yeah, that's how the organization works for the map tree. Really good for keeping your game super organized and not difficult to understand. Does it have more okay. Chris Jewel, just ask that question again, because I'm not sure what you're asking me, because I think you had some typos in it. Yeah, the map tree is just, it was just a weird thing about MV. R's always been there. Yeah, A, B, C, D, E, R. And R is region, like it was before. One of my favorite additions from VX Ace, which was region ID. Traits. I think that most of the trait area is the same. It's one of those things that where there's so many different there's so many options that I can't remember sometimes if something was in MV or not. Yeah, R was since VX Ace. It was the best edition VX Ace had, I think. Well, on top of many other things like multiple maps or multiple tile sets and stuff like that, but this was a game changer. Attack skill is new. Oh yeah, hold up. I forgot that. I forgot that was in there. Hold on. Yeah, you can define what their default attack skill is. I forgot. Thank you for telling me that was due. Because I forgot. So yeah, you can change your default map skill or attack skill. And here's the cool thing, because that's a trait, that also means you can put it on a weapon. So you can have a weapon just have a different attack skill. So this is like much easier to make like a weapon that does, I don't know, like do like a drain weapon. You'll need a plugin that adds drain skills, but it's just so easy to make a weapon that does new cool stuff. It does export to Android. It's just it's exports to web and then you wrap it for Android. It's actually a much more logical way to do it. And if you want to do Android development, you just kind of have to learn a little bit about Android development. Question of the modern tile set, so we get snow-covered versions this time. I don't think there's snow-covered versions. So when making cutscene, will the player be able to exit out of one easily to make a plugin like an MV? Oh, so like a button to skip cutscenes. It's not a default characteristic. Trace the same for monsters as well as actors, yes. Though the default attack's not the same because with enemies you just have attack patterns anyway, so. Formula for damage, it operates the same as it did before. Which if you know all the different ways you can call stuff in the damage formula box, there's so much you can do anyway. Let's see. You can have character portraits in the front view battles. Yes. You can actually have them in side view for that matter. Our front view and side view battles different sprites. Are you talking about the enemies? They're sized differently because they're a little bit smaller on the side view so that you can fit them in with not taking up more of the screen. I'd like to see more, but it's too late. Okay, well, have a good night, Jura. I won't be awake much longer myself, so. Can you play animations on actors in battle using event commands? Pretty sure, but let's make a, let's see. I hate that I cannot remember. Show animation. Okay, so yeah, it still doesn't have anything for that. Because it does it on player or events. I don't even know what would happen if you had it on player for a battle event. Huh. I wonder how you would do it. Do enemies have HP bar now? No. Still not default. Yeah, the default database for enemies seems to be small compared to everything else. I wish they had included more. I mean, we have like tons and tons of options for like enemies. I really like the art style on the enemies. I just think they're really good. Yeah, I think there's some more stuff in there, but I would have to like a few weeks ago I opened both of them side by side. And like that's the only way I can remember which ones were in there and which ones weren't. Because my memory's awful. Yeah, I tried to pick a time that would be good for many different locations for time zones, but it's difficult, right? Because like this is 7 to 10 in my time zone. In Japan, it's going to be, it's like 8 to 11 a.m. East Coast is 4 to 7. But then you get to Europe and it's just a mess. is really late for Europe right now. I think Double Drop was in there. But it's one of those things I can't say for certain, right? Because I can't remember everything. 10 a.m. for you? I haven't used MV in a while either because I've been testing MZ stuff. And because I have been testing MZ stuff, I've slowly forgotten what was in MV and what wasn't. Any new conditions for enemy action patterns? There's two kinds of turns for TBS. I'd like to see if they can be differentiated well enough. Okay, so the two different kind of turns for the let's open up enemies. So the two different kind of turns are like specific to different things, right? So when you talk about in these conditions, like these turns, these always act on the monster's turn. So how many times is the monster gone? And it was like he'd do it on his first turn, and then he would do it on 5th, 9th, etc. And that's how many times he is gone. So turns for monsters are pretty simple in that. The only time that the full turn system, like the one for whatever the fastest current monster is battle conditions. This is where turn is used differently. Everything else is specific monster turn or actor turn. Sorry, knocking over a couple of cans of that were sitting on my table. Let's see. Can we see what the traits for items? All traits are pretty much the same. Let's see. Grow, max HP by, yeah, so special effect, escape, learn skill, common event. Like, I don't think anything changed in effects for items. Weather effects has not added anything. Map parallaxing with different levels needed now. No. Weather effect is the same. Let's see. Let's scroll up and see if there was any more questions that I missed. How do shadows work with manual layering? That's a good question. So I'm pretty sure that they still draw. Let's like grab that. And so that should just create layers. I think anything that creates one naturally, it does not matter what. I may be wrong though. Yeah, it seems like if it only. Let's see. Let's try this again. It may only do it on layers 1. Okay, layer 1, it creates it. Okay, only layer 1 tiles add shadows. So there we go. There's the answer to that question. If it's drawn on layer 1, it can create shadows. Also, on going up the walls, I sometimes do that as well. I'll just take the pen and draw in shadows up the wall. Is there a decent help file to tell us what all the effects and calls are? I don't remember if it's done. Yeah. The help file is currently being worked on. I just went and opened it, and it's but it should be available when it launches. We also have coming up, by the way, Yeah, you can manually add shadows. We do have like a scripting guide coming up, and it's huge. I have to read through it and check this translation on it tomorrow. It's like 40-something pages for the beginning of it. It's going to be like a beginner's guide to making plugins. So that's really cool. Are there any new easy events? No, they didn't add any. I would, we've suggested some in there, maybe some in further updates that we were thinking about. Is experience only a curve still, or can you customize each value? Experience, I believe, is still a curve. I always used a plugin to... Yeah, so it's just a curve. I always use a plugin to change that. Though a curve is usually good enough for 99% of games. And let's see, I pre-order. Let's see. I'm glad that you guys are pre-ordering. Thank you very much. It keeps me employed. And also, just I like seeing people make games. Is TP changed in any way, as in gain, loss, and so on? TP acts the same as it did in MV. Will there be a game jam of some sort? Yes, I want to plan one, but I want to wait until MZ is out for like a month. So that like people can get used to the changes. And also so some more plugins can be made. And so everyone can have some new stuff. TP changes, no. Can redraw the stat growth again? You mean like how they could in I remember, what one was it where you could draw the stat growth in? I remember that. But it does not seem you can. I am going to do my best to do a game jam. And I'm going to attempt to do the thing I did with the no travel one, where I played every entry on stream. It was not the greatest. It was fun, but it was tiring. Was it 2003? It's been that long since you could draw them in. A physical book? That would be cool. I would love to have a physical book. It was like also the thing someone had talked about how cool it would be to have like an art book. And I was like, that would be cool to have an art book. You do it in Ace? Maybe you could. I think that was a mistake, those extra bits. I need something to dress up these rooms. What should I have? Or maybe the rooms are just the wrong shape. Maybe they should be in one so that these are in the center. Ooh. Pre-order from MZ from Steam. You know, I appreciate that you're buying 2 copies. I don't know why you're buying 2 copies, but I assume it's for someone else. Oh, what did I do here? Can I explain battle event turns? I can. So, obviously, if you're in turn-based, battle event turns are exactly the same. If you're in time progress, either active or wait, there are 2 types of turns. One is used for states, and shift-clicking, yes, does still work on maps. So one works with states and action patterns for enemies and stuff like that. And that is just how many times that monster has gone. So if this monster has gone 5 times, it is on turn 5, and it will have 6 turn. Then there is the other type of turn, which is what the battle conditions are set on. And what it is the fastest enemy, not the fastest character, so just the fastest enemy on the screen, whatever the highest one's turn count is the battle event turn. And that is really how battle turns work. That's all of them. And if you have any more questions about that, I can be more specific, but I think it kind of covers how it goes. Any new command like C for dialogue? I don't think so, but let me like open up, because I think it actually tells you all of the... And also as a thing of, I may have forgotten. Yeah, because here's all the different control characters. I don't think that there's any new ones, but I could just be forgetting that something wasn't in there. How do AGI changes affect battle speed? If a character's agility changes, then it only changes how fast they go. It doesn't change if I think I'm 99% sure on this, but I could be wrong. I think that the pace of the battle is set at the very beginning and doesn't change after that. So if your agility speeds up, you could possibly break that 4-second barrier that's set when the pacing is set at the beginning. Giving my copy to a friend who really wanted. Okay. I'm glad that you both are purchasing a copy and supporting your friend. Can you loop effects see your animations on map? I don't know if it would let you loop them, but you could just put a delay for the name option in message for the name box. You could just put a delay the length of the animation and have it repeat, even if it doesn't. But I don't think it has just like a natural repeat. Yeah, it doesn't have like a repeat on it. But you could just like have a run a parallel that repeats it. Is there any change to party system or class system? Not that I know of. What does region locking mean for this software? I don't think we have any region. So it's okay, man. I will be your friend. You can talk to me on the Driftwood Discord server. I'm there all the time. Can we see character creator? I will open it again. We've looked at it several times, but always worth looking at again. She's so surprised by something. I like hitting randomize to look at stuff, because... Oh no, Carl, you're late. It's okay. 20 more minutes and this will be over, and you can go back to the beginning and watch the whole thing. Does character controls work for name and show text? I assume it would. This is a good question. I'm going to ask that. Or I'm not going to ask. I'm going to like test it. We already had a... we have that common event. Let's look up... Let's go to that common event that I made earlier. And I can show people how cool that one thing was. So let's do a name. What would be the... So... Code for... That would be \C1. Oh yeah, I have to put the brackets. Okay, so this is going to be like a thing I'll also get to show, like the easing and everything to people who weren't watching when we did this earlier. So one of the things that got added was easing, which is the whole concept of watch how this picture moves and how it slows at the beginning and end. But also, there's this image. We added in a plugin that's kind of come with the engine when it launches, where you can click on a picture and it will automatically do a common event. So, did I make a mistake? Or does it just not work? Oh, I have to go to the common event. Tool database. Did I need to not capitalize that? Didn't expect 3 hours. Honestly, it probably should have been 2. But I said 3 when we started. Yeah, it doesn't look like they work in that. I feel like, Oh, why did I change color and not the text? My bad. I had put the wrong thing in there. You're right, you're right. And again, it's not in there, it's in my... Guys, I just have to say that, like, in was the one I think I needed, right? Yeah, C is for color, I know. I, for some reason, was putting C in for character. I forget stuff. I'm pretty sure it's gonna work, because it works in, like, menu option. Like, in the database, like, for skills and stuff, right? Yeah, it does work. It does work. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you could. I'm pretty sure you could change the color. Reed is just really happy we're clicking on him. I'm telling you, if you guys, once again, for Android, you output to web, and then use a wrapper to make APK. C is for cookie. There's no automatic timing system. Reed is a weirdo. I mean, I wouldn't call that no mobile support. It's just it doesn't output directly to mobile, because it's very complicated. And it's better to use a mobile-specific tool that is constantly updated for us to put something in it. Any new stuff on the console? What do you mean by the console? We have seen animations, but I can always just play some more. I am waiting for someone to make Reed Shadow Legend as a game. I know it's gonna happen. Gonna show some Fantasy World stuff. Let's load in some of the fantasy maps. Let's start with just, I always like the floating city. Oh, I don't like this default map. They should have put edges of the world right here. This is not a good default map. This is not how I would map it. Art options for animation. The side center of the screen. The target, hitting it on the target as well. I'm pretty sure a Chrome app would play it on mobile, but it's kind of disappointing that I don't like that map, because the floating city ones is always the one I really like. So here's a good world map. I like a lot of the new city sprites and stuff, like the castles and towns. And let's see. Browse all the images. Are you? I did all of the full characters at the very beginning. Later on, just really close to the beginning of the video. I did all of the characters, full body arts. Okay, let's see. Let's do another fantasy map. Let's like I don't want to do villages. Villages are always like kind of boring. There's a castle. Castles are cool. I will say there's always, like, with the default maps, they're good for ideas, but every single time I load one, I'm like, I would have done this slightly differently. I think if you want to mix MV and MZ tile sets, the main thing you want to do is you're gonna probably have to change the saturation a little bit of one of the other. Is the MZ ones are a little more saturated. I don't know on FSM. I don't think they have one that's like if they have one, I don't know about it. Live stream, game devs. Okay. Have a good night, Skepsis. Murder everyone's name. That's what we do. All right, let's look at another map. Forest, abandoned grasslands temple, abandoned. Let's. My one thing is like, it's like this map. This is one where I think the saturation gets in the way. I don't feel like there's enough differentiation between the tiles that it's hard to see what's going on. Scarecrow, yes. Any RPG Maker assets, if you own both the version you're using the assets from and the version you're using, you can use them. You're allowed to, and MV stuff all works with MZ automatically. Let's see. Oh, I think this one actually looks really good. That's actually probably one of the better looking ones. Default, especially with the fires. I want to see it with the fires. Let me put my character on here so we can see it in play. Oh, that looks really good in game. Why won't you let me walk around? They should have changed it where I could just get around the edge there. I'm gonna use control so I can. Just climbing the wall. That's a really cool looking door. It has like gears on it or something on the front. Maybe? Like a rose? I'm not sure what that's supposed to be. Alright, let's load one more map here. Alright, I only got 10 minutes left. Alright, I have 10 minutes left. What is the thing? Oh yeah, this one. I absolutely despise whoever made this map. Because that carpeting, like everything else is fine. But who put this carpeting like this? What were they thinking? Like, look at how much better it would look if it was just one or the other. Instantaneously. That looks so much better. Who would do this? Who would map this way? So upset with whoever did this. Oh, I do like the purple carpet, though. That's like a really cool design. Oh, I accidentally overrode a table. But it's just like that thing of like... Hold on. I forgot I can do that. I can just switch the... Oh, that's another thing, like, right? So, like, so let's, like, look at this room right here. I can just go to layer 1. And draw underneath it. And everything on top is still there. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? Though that purple doesn't go well in there. So, yeah, being able to change the layers, it just saves so much time. Also, I don't know if you guys can hear all the clicky clack whenever I switch layers from my mechanical keyboard. Layers was one of those things that when we were going to design it, like, we just pushed for so hard. And like it was immediately like, you know, the team at Katakawa agreed with us. But it was like the first thing on the list when they asked us, what does the next version of RPG Maker have to have? We were just like, layers. It has to have controllable layers again. 4 layers. So you can leave it on automatic, which operates the same way as MV does. Which I still would do most mapping stuff in this in automatic, because unless you're trying to do something tricky, there's no reason to control every single thing individually. I do agree that high quality clacking is very good. And then you have layer 1, 2, 3, 4. And because you can put everything on every layer, there's a lot of really cool tricks you can do that you couldn't do before. So technically, MV also has 4 layers. It's just you have no control over it. Because it had... Okay, so basically with MV, you had your base layer, then you had your second layer for stuff like this, like the things like these, the counters, and then you had 2 layers for BC tiles. Yeah, I am against every bit of whatever that person did in Castle 1 on that mapping. This one looks better. I don't know, something about right here. I feel like there should be something in this area instead of... does the auto layering map to the 4 layers automatically? Yes. Oh, how can I tell what layer? So, okay. Down here in the lower right, see where it says automatic? Layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, layer 4. So when you switch, you can look down there. Also, on the lower right layer thing, I just want to say, that was my suggestion to put the layer information down there. Because it wasn't originally there, I just suggested it, and I'm just happy that it went in. They were really like, oh yeah, that makes total sense. Perfect place to put it. That is my contribution to MZ. Other than that, I'm pretty useless. Let's see. What other thing is there that's cool to show? When I only have 5 minutes left. Also, the fact that there's a keyboard shortcut. You can thank Nessie for that one. Archaea. If I was going to name the 8 characters, what acronym would I use? We actually came up with a whole bunch of acronyms for possible uses, and I can't remember any of them. Because we had like a whole bunch of them, and then we came up for it was in the ticket system, like the bug system report thing when we were doing the things. We were like, okay, what are we gonna name them? And then I don't remember what the different acronyms we had were. You know what? I you know, I think if it was going to be 5 characters, we should just have it spell Ralph. Are there hotkeys for default tools? I don't know if there is. There may be, and I just don't know. If you import a map from MV to MZ, would it keep the layer orders? Yes. Because MV has layers in the exact same way as MZ. It's just that you had no control over them. So it would put all tile A stuff except for the second. There's two. Tile A is separated between layer 1 and layer 2 stuff in MV. And then BC tiles would layer on layer 3 and 4. Having layers, and not that. Ralph, the hero we need. Ralph is not my favorite default hero, because my favorite default hero is Harold. But better MP. Actually, no, Harold. Harold is what I would have spelled. Can you import maps and database stuff? Yes, you can. The only thing is the animations have to be switched up. Sir Ralph, that would have been a good one. Are ye Harold? Yeah. Either one of those would have been probably something I would have loved to go for. So, like, if we're going to do rankings of default heroes, it goes Harold, Eric, Ralph, Reed right now for me. And don't make me think about the really old ones, because I can't remember them anymore. I haven't used them in a long time. Like, Alex and Alexis. Any changes to encounters? Not that I know of. It's still like, you know, region ID, weight, encounter steps, that kind of stuff. Let's look at some mouths for the character generator. We have a little bit of time left. I mean, I'll hate them. I think they're good. Let's see, that's the female mouths. Okay, first we have to get... Wow, that mustache. Okay, first we need to get rid of that mustache. Come on, give me one where I can see the mouth. There we go. I mean, personally, I like the mouths fine. I think they're good. I feel so bad for this kid. Cover character art for MZ? Yeah, the MZ cover art characters are good. I don't know why. Oh my god, that hat. That hat is so good, guys. Oh, so like on the hair options, I don't know if y'all have seen how easy it is to add more. Like, this is a dynamic length list. You can just go in and add more gradients to the ping for this, and it will just have more and more. You can just scroll down. So, like, that's, like, much easier to, like, just add things. Alright, so, it is 10 o'clock. So, we're going to show one more thing, whatever the next person asks me to show. And that's what we're going to show. And while I'm waiting for someone to do that, I'm going to make sure that something is working correctly. Okay, cool, it was showing. Let's see. Cell switches beyond 4. No, there's still 4 cell switches. Something we suggested. but max map size is still 256 by 256. Favorite feature, plugin commands are so good. Show the real face of Yanfly. That is the real face of Yanfly. It's the little puffy thing. That's what Yanfly looks like. Male character generator parts. I've shown some of them. Battle system. I showed a little bit of it earlier. Need to upgrade your laptop? Maybe. You could, if you're not sure if it'll run, just when it comes out, use the trial, the 30-day trial, and see if it's running well. Okay, I'll show some male generator parts. Edit map while playtesting. Probably, but I don't tend to do it. Show some DLC assets. Not going to do that today, because, again, it is one of those things of... Wait, what is it? Male character generated parts. Like, what specifically? Let's just hit some randomize a few times. Well, yeah, because random just lets me see a lot of different pieces really fast. Shadow pin's the same as it was before. Male clothes? Okay, I'll go through the clothing. Oh, I like that one. I'm just going through them really fast because, like, you can always just go through and pause to see. That's a good one, too. I wonder if, like, let's see. I'll do some really cool things with coloring on this one. Okay, let's see. Movement route preview was shown earlier, so you can see it if you jump through. Which DLC are you referring to, Josh? Specs look better. I think, yeah, the glasses, let's see, I think they're in 2. Accessory 2. Or wait, is it, where is the glasses? Yeah, the glasses do look better. They also fit on the face better. Yeah. Visa Stella, I'm gonna type it in the chat. Yeah, you can offset stuff. Like, I wish I could put more glasses on him so I could just, like, layer the glasses. You can add more gradients, to the ping file, and it will just keep adding here, and you'll be able to scroll down. Look. Wendy's a strong, independent woman. She do not need no man. Alright. So it is past 10. I am, my throat is getting a little tired. I'm glad that you all came and talked to me, because doing a stream with no one talking is not very fun. I don't know what I would have done for 3 hours if no one talked to me. Thank you for coming. Monday, from 4 to 7 Pacific, we're going to have the people from Studio Blue are going to be streaming some games from the community. So please come back and watch that. Thursday, when we have the release, I know all of you will be busy using RPG Maker, but if you have a separate monitor, I will be streaming that day too. So just throw me up on your second monitor. And that will be it. Have a good day, everyone. And I'm gonna get some rest and some food and some drink. And now I gotta remember how to turn this off. There we go. There's the button.